and then some real fast lambs to finish on. So that's going to be a spectacular event. We're just starting to hear a bit of a rattle of the gates in behind us, Tuma. So that's a sure sign that everything's starting to build now. Everything's starting to roll together in this stadium here. So I'm starting to get a wee bit anxious and a wee bit nervous as I do before like an All Black rugby game.
There's a brand new Santa Fe out the front of the building, and that goes to the first prize winner. $70,000 for this wonderful Santa Fe. Is it going to be that South Island, the Dr. Costa, do you think?
Yeah, well, Mr. and Mrs. Costa got used to driving around in the Santa Fe. He's won it the last 3 times, I think it is now. Definitely, he's a reigning champion and a couple before that, I'm sure. So he won't be too keen on handing those keys over too easy, I wouldn't say.
What about Nathan Stratford?
Nathan Stratford comes from Invercargill, and your MC over here, or your co-commentator, comes from Invercargill. So young Stratty, of course, is the team's world champion, current world champion right now. So he is going really, really, really well. He is doing all the right things. He's under the watchful eye of Sid Cummings down home, who is an Ironman. So he's built all his endurance up. And I tell you what, he's going to need endurance tonight, Tuma. Nathan Stratford is going to share in this. Nathan Stratford's going to share in a Trans-Tasman test. Nathan Stratford is going to share in an open final. He will need endurance. He will need help from the audience. And there's another man that's going to do that too, Tuma, called Roland Smith. He is doing the same thing. Within 2 hours, they're going to come up here 3 times.
Can any human do that?
Well, I'm starting to wonder myself when I lay on the bed in the motel planning all this and thought, we've got 3 events and 2 shearers and the whole thing. Luckily, no one's told them this. Logically, a scientist would say a shearer cannot do what he does every day, but no one's told them that. A bumblebee's not supposed to be able to fly, but no one's told them that either, and it does it pretty well. So as long as we don't say anything, they're going to come up here and give her the A game 3 times. But in between all that, there's a whole lot of other great shearers up here too. We know there's David Buick. We know there's going to be Pirata Abraham's going to give her a blast too soon, too, Murray. That's going to rock and roll.
Yeah, young Pirata, he really lifted the roof off here last year, and he is going to do it again. He's one of these young up-and-coming guys, ladies and gentlemen. He works out all the time. He's at the gym 6 days a week. He's got the Māori tāmoko up his arms, and once he gets sweating, he glistens in the sun. I'll tell you what, he is going to be one to really look out for, as young Pirata Abraham. And also, he married one of Masterton's sweethearts as well, didn't he? Kushla Gordon, and now she's Kushla Abraham.
Good work. We like that. Great bloodline now in Masterton. Yes, so there's going to be plenty of action. The sheep starting to arrive. And of course, the Trans-Tasman test coming up, they're going to be shearing a lot of multi-breeds too, which is about the 3rd thing down. After this initial multi-breeds here, we're moving into an invitational, a TUI-sponsored event of invitational, which is all the young up-and-coming shearers. We're going to expose them to the bright lights of the Golden Shears and expose them up here. Why are we going to do that? Because that's how they're going to build confidence. It's like training for rugby. You never become match fit until you hit this stage here. And we're going to give them that chance.
Yeah, the TUI Invitational. We had a guy here, if you've been coming to the Golden Shears for a few years, his name was Digger Balm, and he was our TUI rep. He was a heck of a good guy. Well, I tell you what, we've got a lot more young Digger Balms coming up, so you guys will not be disappointed with that. We've got the Trans-Tasman as well. Now, I reckon the Aussies have got it tonight. What do you reckon? Don't look
what do you think,
like
folks? That. No, that's the answer to that. Last night, of course, our Woolhandlers, Water, Silver, Fern, Proud, Toomer. Wait,
the Aussies
I'll call you in. I'll call you in.
The Aussies did get a bit of a kick in the bum, but it was a great spectacle to watch. The Aussie girls gave it their all, but it wasn't good enough. But I think we should nearly have these names up on the board and be bringing the Wrightson's shearers up on the board. Gerald?
That would be good. Let's do that. We'll wait for them to arrive.
I can see the guys over there. They're biting at the bit. Should we bring them up?
If we get the nod from Willie Buick, are you good to go, Willie? We've got 6 lined up, ready for action. They've had plenty of gear to get organised. Not quite yet.
We've also got the primary ITO Woolhandling, open Woolhandling tonight. We've got a young lady in there, Pagan Karodia. Now, if Pagan can win another show, if she can win this show, that means that she will be up to be nominated to be a master wool handler.
Oh, good work.
A lot of weight on this young wool handler's shoulders tonight. That's Pagan.
You did right. And, of course, she's a very good shearer as well. She's an incredible athlete, great bloodline, and an amazing athlete at the same time.
Yeah, and we've also got Marianne as well, Marianne Beatty.
She's in there. We've got Joel Henare too, of course, your current world champion wool handler and a master wool handler too. So, as we would expect at the Golden Shears here this year, we're going to have a great lineup of terrific athletes, terrific sports people. We've got the nod. I'd just like to introduce our co-commentators, please. To this side here, you'll know his voice and you'll hear him a lot tonight. From mid-Canterbury, please raise your hand here. Norm, let everyone know you. Norm Haraway, folks. That's Norm up here. Well done, Norm. You've got a big night in front of you. Been here for 3 days commentating. And from the Naki, you know his voice, ladies and gentlemen. John McBride is in the house once again.
Okay, let's bring these shearers up onto the board on stand number 1 from Rakaya, Dr. Costa, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Costa.
From Napier, ladies and gentlemen, your current, your reigning world champion shearer, Johnny Kirkpatrick is in the stadium.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the current Golden Shears champion. Give it up for Roland Smith from Hastings.
Murray Henderson has shone like a madman to make it here. Give it up for Murray Henderson, please.
From the deep south in Invercargill, Nathan Stratford, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll have a wee pause from Masterton. Wairarapa Abraham.
Oh, that's pumped me up, Gerald.
Well, just as they're getting pumped up there, could we have the invitation shearers, please, to the announcer's desk? Brent Roberts, Tippity Whara, Jimmy Samuels, Jordan Boys, Hemi Braddock, and Tuma Nia. I nearly said Tuma Mullins. That would have spooked him.
Especially dressed up like a buffter like he is. Doesn't look like he's going to get up there shearing many sheep. So what a line-up, John. Tony Costa on 1 5 times winner of this event. The reigning champion of the PGG Wrightson National on stand number 1. The world champion on 2. The Golden Shears champion on 3. Further down the line, Murray Henderson, Nathan Stratford, the man they call Stratty, and Wairarapa Abraham, the local fella down there on stand number 6. This is going to be something special, folks.
Well, we're beaming live stream on the website. Check it out at Golden Shears. Hey, he's going right across the world. So if you want to hoot and holler, I'm sure somebody over in England or Scotland will hear you go.
So the wool's going to be flying, ladies and gentlemen. 3 merinos, 3 corridors, 3 long wool, 3 second chair, and 3 lambs. There's going to be all go for our wool handlers. And a big thanks to our wool handlers that have been here for the last 3 days, looking after our shearers and the shearing events. Thank you, girls and guys, very, very much. And, of course, our pressing team out the back. They don't get much of a mention, John, so big thanks to the guys pressing for us.
No, they're out there unseen, and they don't make much noise these days with the automatic presses, so they're doing a marvellous job. Could we have Tippity Whara and Jimmy Samuels, Jordan Boys, please, to the microphone desk for their shirts. Referee to stand 3. Well, it's been run under several names, this event, but this is the multi-breed event sponsored by PGG Wrightson's She's going to be a fantastic one. The sheep outside, they look pretty good. Some big Corridale ewes come off the truck there just before. The lambs have got a bit of wool on them. Second shear will be strong and the merinos will be difficult. What more can you ask for?
Yeah. You're almost putting these guys off, John. So Tony Costa's won this before. Johnny Kirkpatrick's won it before. Nathan Stratford's won it before.
Could we have Luke Binder, please? Luke Binder to the microphone table. Yeah, there's a few winners, past winners.
But these other guys, they'll be up to the task.
Well, they wouldn't be here if they weren't up to the task, because these are 6 athletes. We have the all clear. Everybody happy. Shearer on the board. Parada Abraham's down on stand number 6. What's he checking out? Is he happy enough, Judge? Looks like we're good to go, are we? Okay.
Come on, Tony.
Timekeeper's right. Competitors, set, go. Into the bend for the first of the finals, 2017 Saturday night. This will take about 2.5 minutes for this wrinkly. By golly, there's a lot of work in them as they go down the valley. These grand old masters of the hills, 7 and 8 year olds, some of these guys, they've had a great lifetime. Now they're supplying you here with a fantastic event. Seen these 6 top shearers work this wool off this golden fibre. Worth a reasonable amount of money. Very, very capable shearers, and we watch Nathan Stratford barrel into these sheep very, very easily in the eliminations rounds. But anyway, there's a bit of a worry. Can they repeat that sort of stuff here now? He's working hard down there on stand number 5. Into the first shoulder. First to open up the neck and go hard. But you watch this man from Rikaya up here on the number 1 stand. I'll refer to as the front stand because he's got all under the lights here and he's got to lead the way, and he'll do exactly that as he drops into the long blow. And into the long blow goes the man from Invercargill down on stand number 5. Oh, a little bit of a kicker for Parada Abrahams. He says, let me at these sheep. We're going to be hard at it. Johnny Kirkpatrick from Napier here on stand number 2. Rolly Smith around the back of the head. Had a difficult time in the semi-final here, but he still ended up qualifying about 3rd. Murray Henderson to the last side. He must have a good one as he turns onto the money side of the sheep. By crikey, he might almost be in front. No, it's Nathan Stratford coming over the top. And Pirata Abrahams as well. Don't forget to hoot and holler for your favourite. Johnny Kay is there working off the last side. Over the top comes Tony Costa here on the front stand. Rowley's going to be last to him, but it's your man Stratty gone in, Norman.
Go the south. Nathan Stratford back out onto the board of the sheep. Number 2. 3 of these big wrinkly buff-headed merinos. Oh, Tony Costa's got one trying to take his eye out. Right out onto the back leg. They roll together. Johnny Kirkpatrick and Tony Costa. Murray Henderson is there. Pirata Abraham, the local man, is there on stand number 6. Down the belly he roars. Stratty flicks the belly out. He turns into the first hind leg. In goes JK. In goes Murray Henderson. In goes Tony Costa on stand number 1, the reigning champion. Down the last side, pulls Roland Smith. A lot of sharing in these big things. They head into the pen and they rip them out onto the board, and then it's like hitting a brick wall. They drop the handpiece into the belly. They very carefully work their way around the belly, flick it out behind them, and then into the first hind leg. A completely different type of sheep to share than the crossbreds we're used to seeing up here in the Wairarapa. That's
I
for
think
sure,
Rolly
John.
hit a small one there, but it was quite difficult.
Yeah, to be fair, old Rolly makes most sheep look fairly small, Gerald.
Yeah, he's got a big stature, all right, and he buries a handpiece in the belly wool of that one. Up and around the brisket, 3, 4, 5, 6 little jabs just to free it up. Watching those wrinkles. We don't want to get tangled up in them in a final. Working the left hand now. Look at it go, that big paw of his. Down the first leg, down to the fertilizer works. He goes smack bang in the middle there. Roland Smith. 2. He puts 3 big ones up the back. That's going to make for a really quick last side. But talking about being a quick, young Stratford. He said, I've flown all the way to the Golden Shears. I want this baby. I've driven round in that Santa Fe. I happen to have a little farmlet on the outskirts of Invercargill now, and I drive to Winton every day, and that would be a real pleasure to drive that baby each morning at 5 o'clock to make work. And this is where it's all going to end up. Can he do it with these 15 sheep as he buries the handpiece on the last side, flicking the wool out of the way? The Invercargill man right out to the toenails. But Mr. Costa on the front, he is the genius at this. His ability to swap from one breed to the other is absolutely second to none, Toomer, as he's on his journey home. But it's Stratford, he's the first one in for his third one.
Here he goes into the belly now, this big merino, his third one. Tony Costa steps into the pen up here on the front stand. Next is going to be Johnny Kirkpatrick. Or is it at Pirata Abrahams down the far end? Murray Henderson to the top of the shoulder over the last side. Now comes Rolly Smith, but he's a few shots off the pace. You can't afford to lose too much ground on these big boys as the crossbred shearers all wind into those corridors pretty easily. Over the last side comes Rolly. Murray Henderson's got picked up by him under the shoulder and down and out to the flankers. Stratty's going up over the tail on the next one. Pirata Abrahams down the belly. Johnny Kay's on the first off leg now. Up the top comes Tony Costa. Things are happening here, Norm. They ticking away. Look at him go. Just the second cuts have been recorded up there along with the time points on the board.
Close up in the big screen of Tony Costa as he works his way around that neck wrinkle. A lot of work there, ladies and gentlemen. A real skill involved just to getting that part of the sheep off. Got to stay down on the skin. The less second cuts, the better, of course, and got to leave all the skin on the sheep and take all the wool off. Up comes Johnny Kirkpatrick, winding his way up the neck, working the wrinkle with his left hand, holding the skin tight, driving the handpiece in against the skin. Roland Smith down into the first hind leg. Murray Henderson takes the belly off on 3, but Tony Costa's stolen the lead from Nathan Stratford as he turns around onto the last cheek. He had a solid chop on one to start with. He got the worst one out of the way first, but he's just starting to settle into a rhythm. It's just a shame there weren't a few more of these things for Tony Costa. Some Corridor U's coming up next. Nathan Stratford turns for home. Pirata Abraham still there as well, the local man on stand 6. Get behind him as he works his way down the last front shoulder. Breaking it opens, Roland Smith. Top knot coming off for Murray Henderson, but Stratford and Tony Costa leading the field this time. Down the last side they pour, of course. These two men are from the South Island, Gerald.
Oh, yeah. Tony Costa's starting to warm up. He hits the corridors now. He goes for a handpiece change. What does that mean? It's a fresh cut, but it's got a different bevel on the comb. There's a whole lot of dynamics coming down to the toolbox here today. Stratford's the second man in. How's the Pirata Abraham going? Oh, yeah, that's all we want. Get that young darling down the hole. It's your responsibility, Pie, as he knows he made his way back out. Said, see you later, darling. Out to the judges you go. He pulls out his first corridor, buries the handpiece in it. Look at him go now. This is his ground, a home ground for him. He would love to lift the roof off this place. Into the first hind leg he goes, but it's Costa on the front stand here.
Good evening, the World Wide Web. We've just come online now to take over from the stadium commentators. I've got an expert here, Richard Dampney, with me, a North Aucklander, and we've just allowed our guys down on the stage to just get a bit of a feel for the for what's happening at the moment. But we're with the PGG Wrightson's National Shearing Circuit. Richard.
Yes, we are. It's a pretty amazing thing. There's a pretty good prize. What's happens, the shearers have actually got to shear 3 merino sheep, all weathers. Then they shear 3 Corridor ewes, 3 full wool crossbred ewes, 3 long wool ewes, 3 short wool ewes, and 3 lambs. 5 different types of sheep, and they've got to do it all under pressure with the other guys. It's actually quite amazing, Koro.
Well, this is how we find the most all-round shearer in New Zealand, in Aotearoa, or in the whole wide world. And these guys have got it in front of them. This is the acid test. This is a very huge prize too. It's actually bigger than the Golden Shears final itself. It's in enormity. The challenge that goes out to these guys is amazing. I believe they've all got their corridors on the floor. Up the neck goes Pirata Abraham. You can see on the top left-hand side of the screen, there are still 3 shearers there with 4 sheep on sheep number 4, and boys on stands 1, 5 and 6 are on that 5th sheep. So Pirata Abraham, is he going to do what he did last year? He would love to take that Santa Fe home tonight, Richard Samfrey.
Yeah, he would do. You're right there, Koro. But yeah, they get a Santa Fe to use for 12 months. There's $1,800 of first prize money. There's over $1,000 for second. So yeah, almost want you to go back and become a shearer again. But I don't think they'd have one for slow old geriatrics, to be honest. But here they go. That's a great shot of 4 of them there. Rolly Smith, the current Golden Shears champion, on the left-hand side of that shot. Wairarapa, the young man down there, the local lad. He likes to blow him away. Murray Henderson from fielding there just throws that one out. Nathan Stratford, who's regarded as one of the best merino shearers in the country. But that's the thing. There's merinos, there's Corriedales, which these are. Then you've got long-walled crossbreds. It's great. Yeah, there's John Kirkpatrick, the current world champion there on 2. And this man, Dr. Costa. Tony Costa, who's arguably won it 5 times. He's won this event 5 times.
He's won it 5 times. The PGG Wrightsons, he can just about stamp his mark on it as he goes up the neck. And look at the composure of Tony Costa as he's going around the head there. Just absolutely focused. And as a big man as well, you know, he's not little.
No, he's a huge man.
He's able to just put a little bit of pressure where pressure's needed. You see how that sheep is just sitting there so comfortably and so nice as he turns to the last side.
And
no effort.
Watch his blows. They look so slow. And watch the man Kirkpatrick behind him. He's going 100 miles an hour. It looks like he's really working hard and he's pouring the pace on. And yet the man on the left here is ahead of the man on the right. It's just, yeah, it's quite remarkable, isn't it? It's just, yeah, total technique and the fact that he keeps changing from one breed of sheep to the other.
I think he's got the gear set right down. We talk about gear, folks, out there. It's the comb and the cutter have to be just perfectly matched. And this guy, he works in the South Island. He knows crossbred or woolly type sheep and with a wrinkle on it, and he's at home. He's just in his zone. At the moment, he's now starting to put on the full wool sheep from Cross Keys and up the neck, but look at the top left-hand side. I think Roland Smith is coming back at him. He's actually given it everything. He's throwing everything at this. He's a long blow time, but he's a whole sheep behind because Tony Costa, I think Tony Costa should have been at least 1 sheep and a half ahead of him because Roland Smith's going to set out it and he's going to hunt him down.
You're right there. But Johnny Kay, Kirkpatrick, that man on 2 is also on 7 sheep. It will be interesting. But, yeah, Costa, he's, yeah, a bit of an enigma in this. And Rolly Smith come from the north there. We don't see the crossbred sheep there. He's had to move around and do it. And, yeah, as you can see, we're now, what's he on there? Yeah, they're all onto their full wool sheep from the Corriedales, possibly use the same comb. They're allowed to bring 3 hand pieces out because 5 different classes of sheep, 3 hand pieces which they can change cutters on. Stratford there, that one really want to hammer a little dance with him, but he's settled it down and said, no, I don't want to go to the movies tonight. And he's taken the wool off there.
So we've got Wairarapa Abraham on the screen at the moment. He pops in for sheep number 8 out. Sheep number 8 of 15 goes. The time has been 10 minutes or no, I think the clock's actually got a bit of a hiccup on itself. The time points are working away, but this guy, Wairarapa Abraham, he's burling right into it and he's right behind. Look at this, he's put the acid on
Stratford.
Oh, Nathan Stratford wouldn't be used to this, but they're coming up 1 sheep around. Murray Henderson, he comes. Oh, Roland Smith's not too far away now. He's going to enjoy this. Wait till they hit the 2nd shears, Richard.
Yeah, Henderson's the only one that's not onto his 8th sheep, so they're all within a sheep of each other. Costa's out in front at this stage, but how long will it stay there? I think Wairarapa Abraham might be getting pretty close, actually.
Johnny Kirkpatrick's, I think, now taking the lead.
Over.
He's taken the lead. Johnny Kirkpatrick, the current world champion, has got it. He's got the belly out on his sheep number 9. He's working. Johnny Kirkpatrick has won this before. Here comes Tony Costa. Tony, you just got to lift yourself. He's focused on quality, Richard.
Yeah, also, it's possibly fair to Tony, he's sort of at the end of his career as well. He's not a well man. He can't shear for more than an hour at a time, otherwise his sort of body breaks down on him a bit, and he learns to manage himself, and that's how he gets through these, because these shows don't go for hours. But as you can see, he's not really pushing it like the other shearers. And so he's got to rely on his unique ability as a merino shearer to get him that good head start. But he is a very, very clean shearer as well.
or Cleanliness is his second name. Down the last side is Johnny Kirkpatrick. I know what he's trying to do. He's Roland Smith sitting a sheep behind him. He wants to put a sheep around Roland Smith because the quality of Roland Smith could claw him back. John Kirkpatrick goes in for the first of his second shear. Sheep number 10 on the board, and the time is 10:33, or the clock has stopped. Down and around the first shoulder into the undermine is John. Uncharacteristically, he didn't make the cut past the open quarterfinals in, but now he's got a little bit to prove. He would like to set out and prove to the world that he is the world's champion shearer, Richard.
And if he wins this, he has the right to have that argument and say, yes, I am the best. And you're right. He was hurting badly, the fact that the world champion couldn't make the final 12. He missed out there. He had a couple of horrible sheep that wanted to kick and dance all day, and yeah, just the luck of the draw. But that's what happens sometimes. And yeah, he is very, very hungry and motivated, I would say. And look at Smith there, right behind him. There's half a sheep, is it, Koro? It'd be
half a sheep, but now Smith has actually clawed in Tony Costa. He's climbed back into Tony Costa. Tony Costa was a full sheep ahead of him at the moment. Now Smith is just giving it everything. Round and behind her. A winner never quits, and this man is just winning. On the last side he goes. Look at this
that power coming down there. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, look, he's pushing the handpiece as quick as it can go. Sheep number 9 on the board for Murray Henderson. He's a little bit behind, and oh, he didn't walk in. He flew in there, Richard.
Yeah, well, he's a big boy. He's over 6'6" or 2 meters tall. And yeah, you don't have to take many strides to get to the back of the pen. And he certainly didn't take many there. But look at him go. It'll be interesting. When Kirkpatrick finished last time, he was just going up the neck. He's caught up. Look, he's caught up that last side on Kirkpatrick. So he'll be down into the long blows before Kirkpatrick gets that one out. So yes, he's gaining on Kirkpatrick. Henderson there behind him. He's not very far. No, Henderson's a full sheep behind him.
He's a sheep behind.
So he's struggling. He's the boy struggling. Costa there just keeping with him. But it's Roland Smith there that they're focusing on just at the moment. He charges down that side. Look at him go. Ooh, he is smoking, isn't he?
He's given it everything. Down the last side he comes. He's got the force with him, and in he goes for sheep number 12. Oh, look at that. Just one step.
He didn't even turn the handpiece off. Look, the handpiece is still going.
Johnny Kirkpatrick's just going around the first ear onto the first shoulder, and I think the hairs will be starting to stick up in the back of his neck, because here comes Roland Smith. 1, 2. John Kirkpatrick is stretching out.
Oh, he didn't need that. He's right at him.
Nasty little thing. And that's it. And that'll put him off his stride a little bit. Long blow time coming up for Roland Smith. There is still 3 more sheep in the pens, and they're nice lambs, and that's really Johnny Kirkpatrick's
That's his baby. That's Johnny's forte. But Rolly's right there. That's only the last side. See, he caught basically half a sheep on Johnny in that lot. But that's quite a woolly little lamb too, so this won't worry Rolly too much. But Costa here is falling behind them quite significantly.
He's dropping off.
Pirata Abrams, Stratford's starting to fall behind a bit.
I think Roland's caught up to, he's passed Stratford, he's caught up to Pirata Abraham.
He's ahead of him, yes.
So Johnny Kirkpatrick is the only one that's leading. 2 of those shearers on, there he is. Oh, he's just started his first lamb, Pirata Abraham. He should be on 13, exactly right. He's got 13 on a board, and he's growing. This is a Wairarapa boy. While you folks here in the mighty Wairarapa, you'd have to support this guy, because look at him. He's working hard, but this man, Roland Smith, is in the bottom of the picture. Murray Henderson is 1 whole sheep behind. Nathan Stratford is into the undermine, but turning to the last side is Roland Smith. I think he's reeling back in Johnny Kirkpatrick.
He's reeling him back. Johnny must be really feeling the pressure. And yeah, it's the pressure of being that world champion, and everybody giving them the mantle. Everybody's chasing him. Rolly very upset that he never made the New Zealand team for that world champs, and everybody sort of, yeah, he's got something to strive for too. But this young man here, Pirata Abraham, the flyer, the young lad from here, yes, into it. He's not in the final tonight, is he?
No, he didn't make the cut. He didn't do the business. And under the underminers roll,
no.
and Johnny Kirkpatrick's just going.
Yeah,
He's
Kirkpatrick's just got away from him there.
He's keeping his place.
Yeah, they're not going to catch him.
No, he isn't misfiring. He's still putting in the good shots. And then on the bottom of the screen, folks out there, we've got sheep number 14, one more in a pen. His board points are climbing up there a little bit. And on the right is his total points, time and second cuts. But down the last side is Johnny Roland Smith coming on. I think Wairarapa might have just about reeled in.
Rolly had a bad start
Smith.
there. Might have changed the handpiece or done something like that. Yeah, I think he did something there. He lost quite a bit of time there. See Kirkpatrick, he was within 3 or 4 blows of him. Kirkpatrick's made quite a bit of ground up on him. Roland Smith will be lucky if he gets onto the last side there before Kirkpatrick finishes. Costa here down in the front, only on sheep 14. He's a long way behind. But the quality on him, see Kirkpatrick 61.7. It'd be interesting to see some of the points. Yeah, Costa's still only on 59 with his points. Henderson's on 60. Roland's on 61. So, yeah, it's all very close. So it'll be interesting. The time points that Kirkpatrick gets out of this, see Roland's only just getting round onto that last side. See, he got hooked up there again, did Roland. But that's Pyro. There he is, letting that thing. But there you go.
Letting the handpiece do the twirl. Down the last side.
He'll be pleased that's a Roland Smith.
We've got the beautiful wide angle view here.
Will only be a minute in time.
Pairata just a little bit ahead. There he goes, and the crowd are right behind him. Off goes Roland Smith. So just looking at those points.
Those points are very, very, very close.
Interesting.
Costa here still, he's got a couple spare, but he'll lose all of those, use all of those in time points. And Nathan Stratford, he's got still got a full sheep there. At this stage, it's 63.03 for Kirkpatrick, 63.88 for Smith. So at this stage, Kirkpatrick's got, basically 0.8 of a point ahead of him, 0.85, almost a full point. But that's only, yes, it'll be interesting to see what their outside job's like, because they have judges outside that are judging this outside. You have 12 judges moving over this here. You've got 5 or 6 outside as well, so 6 or 7 outside. And they're judging the finished product, whether there's any little nicks on the sheep or whether they've left big ridges. Here you go. This looks a little bit interesting.
This is the graph we've been waiting for.
Oh, my goodness. That's looking pretty good there.
Roland Smith's looking good for Roland Smith. Very good. Well, you folks out there...
But look at Mr. Costa is still there. Mr. Costa's still all right. His time depends how that father time keeps ticking away on him.
His board is coming to play. Tony Costa, although he was a little bit behind, I believe his quality outside could carry him through this evening.
You're right. And I'm sure he won't want to give that Santa Fe away. They've got that nice Hyundai Santa Fe there, $70,000 worth of vehicle. They've got free use of it for 12 months. And boy, do they enjoy using those. And as they said, it would be a nice thing to have, anyone to have. And almost encourage all of us to come out of retirement and have a go at it. But I'm afraid these guys are a little bit hungrier than us.
Oh, well, thanks to the Hyundai and PGG Wrightsons. I see Duncan Fletcher in the building tonight, the local regional manager for Wrightsons. And it's great to have these sponsors here tonight. And Karen McAnulty invited. We've got quite a few MPs here tonight.
Yes, that's right. It's a fairly important thing. And also, like, this area here, we're not that far from Parliament in Wellington. It's only an hour and a half down the road. And so, but this is a big national event, and it's good to have their presence. The elections are coming up at the end of the year, Koro, so it's a good opportunity to get the banner out there for all these politicians. We had a small show out in the back blocks of North there recently, and we had 3 of them there. We had the great Winston Peters, who's our MP up there, and we had Kelvin Davis, the Labor candidate for Titai Tokerau, and then we also had our local national candidate that's missed out on it, and they were all at this little show, which is a tiny little show called Broadwood out in the Hokianga. And so it's obviously politicians' time to come out to play.
Pressing the flesh, they call that.
Yeah,
Well, just going back to the beginning of the show, there was a screenshot come up, and Noise Productions put up this French one.
Yes.
Oui, oui. Bonjour, Vive le Francais. That came up on there, and it was just to promote in 2019 the World Shearing and Woolhandling Championships are being held in France. So that was there. I don't think there was any introduction to say that, but it came up, and the language could be an issue when we go to France.
I don't know. As long as you can drink wine and eat snails, we should be right. And the other thing was when they went to the World Cup in 2003, I was there, and New Zealand got knocked out in the quarters. No. Well, I supported France because nobody wanted to support Australia or England. They were the two into the final. So vive la France! I wonder if that's good enough to get me a free invite. I'd love to go.
And we're lucky enough to have the ambassador from France here tonight, and Tēnā koe, the ambassador. Welcome along to Te Ore, Masterton, the home of the Golden Shears. And looking forward to it. I'm sure Timo Resno and Loic Legoni, the men that represented France, are tuned in tonight to just get an idea, because never been held in that part of the world, in France. And it'll be good, and they'll be learning as they see how this unfolds. We now are in the stage where we have technology. We're going to cut now. We're going to go back to the stage where the boys are bringing on the Tui encouragement invitation.
Tui, listening to that, Gerald?
Yeah, not long now, as they say. Tuma?
Okay, next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Tui encouragement invitation. So what do we do with this, Gerald? We encourage these guys to drink Tui, or what's the go?
Yeah, some powers to be. Tuma, really have a look at some shearers that are up and coming, are going well. They just need that little bit of encouragement. Again, that exposure of the bright lights and a crowd like this, and all the accolades that go with the Golden Shears and the prestige. Put them up here. As I say, if you're playing rugby or playing netball, you can practice all you like, but you never become match fit until you do the real deal. So that's what it's all about. We'll get them up here. It's going to be a real big moment for them. We've got the nod, of course, so we will keep it going. An action-packed day is good. A quick game is good as well. Right, we got some names up there. Oh, do you want me to start on stand one, do you think there, Tuma? Since I roll my R's. Ladies and gentlemen, from away down in the deep south, he's making his way up here. Give it up for Brett Roberts is here, ladies and gentlemen. Make your way up, Brett.
And from the other side, the top of the North Island, Northland, Tipini Tafata.
The smiling assassin, Jimmy Samuels. Give it up. Give him a big round of applause. Go, Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Owaka, Jordan Boys. Give him a hand as he comes up, the big boy.
From Ekatahuna, Hemi Braddock. Jump up there, Hemi, and have a look at your sheep, mate.
And on stand number 6, ladies and gentlemen, the quickest hand in the East Coast, Tamanir from Gisborne. These young fellas look pumped, Gerald.
They look pumped. Right, you can get yourselves organised, boys. The steps will go away.
So
and,
these guys are shearing 6 sheep, Gerald.
6 chicken shear they are. So it's it is a quick game.
She's going to be fast and furious.
It will be. Like, they are open shearers, a whole lot of them. They're just hitting on their verges. Very difficult when you go through the grades in shearing. You've got a novice, a junior, and then you've got an intermediate senior. When you go from senior to open, well, there's no further to go. So you're mixing with the big boys. So this is their chance of this sort of exposure.
You can't burgle the open, can you?
No. Here we go. Enjoy. Sit back, ladies and gentlemen. Get in behind them. A lot of encouragement would be great.
David Fagan did it for 20 years, burgle the open. Just a big welcome to all the ex-judges.
Welcome back to the studio here in the Golden Shears War Memorial Stadium. Richard Dampney is our co-commentator, and we're starting to warm up. The stadium is actually just about overflowing at the moment.
Yes, it was. There was a little bit of a queue trying to get in there for a quarter to 7 start. It's good though. It's how it should be. Perhaps not quite as many people as there were in 1961 and 62 when they first started. But
when they had to get the army in.
not quite that bad,
Well,
but
you
yes,
know
it's
what?
certainly pleasant.
Technology is doing that to it, I think, because people can watch this at home and sit back and have a bowl of ice cream and chippies or whatever, and they can zoom in on the Golden Shears. But the award or the invitation encouragement is for the young shearers that have made the top 30 but have never won an open competition. So, and it is sponsored by TUI. Normally the TUI girls would be accompanying those guys up onto the stage. We used to do that here.
Yeah, well, the other option is they could always, the guys that win it, or all of them, they could take them up there for a Sunday session, I suppose, at the at the brewery that's actually not very far up the road. It's only perhaps 50, what is it, about 80 k's up the road, or wouldn't quite be that far, would it? And they could go up there for an afternoon session with the TUI girls. I'm sure they'd rather consider that would be pretty good prize money.
And there's a guy that really, he actually stamped his mark on this TUI, and that's on this TUI event was Digger Barnes.
Yeah.
He has, and I believe it from good source that he was encouraged, and he got a little bit of refreshments from TUI for quite a while after too.
That would be Digger.
Well, he put them on the map.
He'd be a good one for doing that, I would imagine. Any opportunity to sneak a free beer, that's pretty typical of all shearers.
Well, folks, this is an instant prize giving. First is 300, and from second to sixth is 200. They're going to shear 6 competition sheep. This is going to be quite quick, quite vicious, and we're going to watch. So hold your seats at home, folks, because we're bringing you live coverage of the Golden Shears Saturday night in 2017. We're going to go down to the stadium and just see where they are. We'll get some shots down there. There they are, the young guys. Brett Roberts is on stand number 1. Out he comes. Oh, these sheep are going to be a little bit of a challenge. They're big. They're monstrous. The sheep are supplied by Bagshot, and they're actually flyers. Here they go into the first undermine, but just looking at the wide lens view here, I think the man that's going to do the business is going to be down the middle there. Jimmy Samuels from Martin is the first one to go up around behind the ear. Tipanete Whara on stand number 2 is chasing him, but this man, Jimmy Samuels, is turning to the long blow time, but your man Tamaniini on stand number 6 is coming in, Richard.
Yes, I like this young lad down there from Gisborne, young Tamaniini. I believe he's got one of the fastest hands in shearing. You watch this man's hand, it's that quick. When he goes forward, you can hardly see it. It's just, I really like this young lad. I've only seen him last year and this year, but yeah, great young guy, and he's good fun, but a very, very quick hand. But you were right, Jimmy Samuels.
56 seconds.
The young man from Martin. That sheep was that quick. He could go to Air New Zealand and get a free flight. It was a flyer.
Down the last side is Brett Roberts, and this man, Jordan Boys, the man in the stand number 4. Tipanete Whara's got one that's just...
Come on, Tipani, you're letting Northland down.
Oh, Tipani, you've got the wrong kind of underarm deodorant in it. And then he goes for sheep number 2. But Jimmy Samuels has now just put the hammer down. The accelerator's on full bore. Into the undermine is Brett Roberts there. It's a good shot there. Tipanete Whara on stand number 2, a little bit behind. We got the board showing in the time, but on sheep number 2, round behind there is Brett Roberts. There is Tipanete Whara on stand number 2. Up the neck goes Tipanete Whara, and it round behind there, but that man on stand number 3, he's the boy that's doing the business at the moment, Richard.
He is. That young Jimmy Samuels is flying. He's a happy guy. They call him the smiling assassin. He's always smiling. He was in the pressing competition. He's been shearing in the open. He was in the young farmer event, and he's just very, very happy and enjoys doing everything. Young Tiffany there yesterday. It was great to see his father Samson was up there, and they saw the Merinos in the wool handling competition for the Australians. It was great to see Samson. A bit of a blast from the past, but this is the blast from the present. Young Tiffany there coming down that last side, but I think he's a little bit behind these other boys. Would be interesting. He's one of the few that's only still on his second sheep. Stands 3, 4, 5 and 6 are all into their third sheep.
He's got to get in the jet stream. He's got to get into the jet stream. You've got to be in it. This is a speed shear event. And the other night, that Brett Roberts, he was the one that showed him how to do it. He didn't quite make the cut. It was Pairata Abram, but Pairata's already had a shear. And this is a way to encourage TUI encouragement. Get these guys used to the bright lights, sitting in front of the politicians out there. They're the ones that are going to be doing the voting as these guys up there, and rub shoulders with them. But down the last side is Jimmy Samuels. Oh, look at that. It's absolutely shaved. Richard.
It is. Yeah, no, Jimmy's doing it. He's a very tidy little shearer. He's not a big man. He's quite a small little man. Didn't like that. That was a very neat change too, from one handpiece to the other. Here's the man, Jordan Boys. He's a bit of a new face up here for us in the the Wairarapa, but for those in the deep south, I think this young lad's been around a bit, and he's going pretty well. He's doing a pretty good, clean job, which is surprising for a speed shear. Normally there's skin in, well, not so much skin as hair flying in all, or wool flying in all directions as they get in and out of the board. But look at those board points. He's pretty clean, all right. So it's looking pretty interesting. Who's this young man?
Young Hemi Braddock. Young Hemi Braddock onto the first shoulder. He's got that look on his face that he's there to do the bizzo. Onto the long blow he goes. He's working away. Hemi Braddock, if you look at to the top left-hand side of the screen there, they're all on sheep number 4. 2 more sheep in the pen as Hemi Braddock turns down there. I called these guys from Ekatahuna Hillbillies the other day, and the father of this man came up and patted me on the back and said, "How did I know?"
Don't say that. My grandparents are from there, so go easy. I'll be giving you more than a pat on the back, calling us hillbillies.
Down the last side he goes. He's into sheep number 5. Here he goes.
Quick tangent.
A quick change of handpiece. He's sticking out, the elbow sticking out on the handpiece. Hopefully it doesn't get hooked up.
Yeah, it did a little bit there
Got
for
him
him.
hooked up.
Here's Tama there coming in for a sheep. He's got a little bit of a sweat up as this boy. He looks like he's a very, very good shearer in the shed. As they say, a lot of these shearers don't like the limelight, don't like to be there, but they're quite happy to work away and the thing. But just look at how quick that hand is. Koro, look at him. When he gets there, it's that hand is just so quick. You can hardly see it.
The perspiration's coming off this man's forehead and up the neck he goes. Wonder if this guy, Lilybeth, and he end up taking this all in as he goes around. Taman near onto the long blow, chasing him along, and I think this, Hemi Braddock shearing out of his skin. He's on sheep number 5 as well.
They're all on sheep 5. They're all there together. Okay, it looks like he's there. Young Braddock is doing well. This young lad's not very long up out of the senior competition, and now he's coming up in here with these guys. He's doing a great job of keeping up. Sometimes some of these young seniors struggle to come up. There's a great shot. Look at Samuels. He's the one that's on sheep 6. He's the man on stand 3 there. This is young Jimmy Samuels, the smiling assassin as they call him. He's actually almost got a sheep around young Tiffany Tifota there in front of him. No, not quite. Tiffany will make sure he gets into that last one before he gets there. Look at this young man, Samuels from Martin, doing a lovely little job too. If the camera could look up from underneath, you'd see there's a big smile on his face as well while he's doing it. He's a bit of a character, this young fella.
And that's the brother that did the record the other day.
Yes, that's right. His brother.
Oh, talented family.
Did a thing. You'll wonder whether they have one together shortly. But there you are, 3 or 4 blows, and that's done. That's young Jimmy Samuels. He pushes the button. He's pretty happy. And looks pretty good too. There. Oh, look at the way.
The cowboy.
There's the smile. That's the smiling assassin. Young Roberts down at the front here. We haven't spoken much about him, but there he is going around behind the head on that sheep on stand 1 there. These 2 boys down here, they've still got a wee bit to do. All of them. Who's going to be next? It'll be my man Tama Nenia. Looks like he'll be the next one in. But Roberts, he's the big boy here with the big tattoos on the arms there. Comes around, puts that in there. Tama Nenia there, the boy down the far end that's finished. Looking at it, so's young Hemi Braddock. Hemi Braddock will be pleased to have been finished in that time.
I think so, yeah.
Because as I said, he's sort of struggled a bit for pace with some of these guys, but they're coming down there. Robertson to fodder there. And young Jordan Boys, the young man from Owaka. But it's Tafota there with those last couple of blows. No, they're all pretty much together. Nothing between those 3. What a great little shear.
I think that, well, this is encouragement. TUI is an encouragement event, and the experience they get out of that is invaluable. They've got it all. And I would suspect that it would be hard to pull back this Jimmy Samuels, although
looking at the points on Brett Roberts, looks very.
Roberts.
That looks pretty scary for the others, I would say. Tamanir is pretty close too. There's not much there. Roberts, Samuels and Near look to be the early front runners to have won this. It will be interesting. As we say, we'll wait a few moments while the sheep are being judged out the back. Jimmy there going like this. The sign is give me a tui.
Okay, well, we'll cross back to the stadium. The boys are going to an instant prize giving, Toby.
And he's talking to Jimmy, so that'll be great.
I used to do this role. You've seen Digger Balm sharing this?
Yeah, well, I thought, someone's got to, follow the legend himself, Digger. So, halfway through that, I thought, well, we better, get the crowd going, and that's what Digger did. He lit up the stage, and, I just took a leaf out of his book, really.
I hope you realise that Digger actually wore a tui box on his head. He was an innovator for this event that we have now. So I hope you've got a few little tricks up your sleeve.
Oh, I wouldn't know if they're tricks. I showed you everything I have up here. So, I remember watching Digger with the box on his head, and I thought about it, but no one could see my face. So.
We wouldn't know who you were. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We may as well have a few words from this man. Digger, come here, Digger. You had passing the torch.
Oh, that's my son.
I can see the resemblance.
The one I never knew I had.
Yeah, well, we better be careful there, Digger. You never know. Okay, Tamanenia. Tamanenia comes from a place called Gisborne. The other day, these guys got up and shore for the Woolhandlers. We called them the Gizzy Bros. Tama, how did it feel up there tonight?
Pretty knackered, just from last night.
Were you on the sponsor's product last night?
Sort of.
So you were a night too early. Tell us, you would have gone up there with a game plan in mind. How did it all go up there?
Yeah, went all right. I just thought I'd try to stay pink, eh? That's the main thing. Never mind the speed, just try and stay pink, eh? Yeah, went all right. Like, I thought I'd done good, or hopefully.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Tamanenia. He's going to be around for a long time. He's a very, very young man. Good luck to all you guys. Thank you, Tama.
Thank you, Tuma. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an instant prize giving for the TUI Encouragement Invitation Shearing event. To present the awards is the president of the Golden Shears, Mr. Philip Morrison.
Thank you, Kieran. Good evening, everybody. What a great little event for these young up-and-coming open shearers. Just to get them on stage Saturday night, great experience for them. The TUI are not here tonight, but they're a good sponsor. Of course, the shearers like the TUI beer, and this is their exposure to show that they're a genuine sponsor and they like their product. So we'll leave it at that and see who the winner is.
It was pretty tight. The winner's penalty points were 30.1. It was pretty tightly compressed, with sixth place being on 33 points. First place receives $300. All other placings receive $200. Please congratulate the winner of the TUI Encouragement Invitation Shearing, Tama Nia. Well, you thought you did pretty well. You weren't wrong.
Yeah, or just try to stay pinky, and that's the main thing. Just get you through. But yeah, I'd like to thank all the sponsors, the TUI sponsors, and all the competitors, all the brothers, all the Gizzy lot.